Welcome, Rachel. I'm so happy to have you. Can you please share your story, how you were diagnosed with MS, and what were your symptoms and how long it took?
Yes, of course. I started to get symptoms in October of 2022. I had just come back from a beautiful vacation overseas, and within 48 hours of being home, I had to rush my father to the hospital, which there were lots of stressors going on there. And about a week later, I woke up in the morning and I experienced complete tingling and numbness in my left hand. Which then the following day, I woke up with that in my right hand. So both hands were very numb, very tingling. I didn't know what it was, but I didn't think anything of it. I just figured maybe I pulled a nerve in my back. I had a headache the night before. I used the massager. Maybe it just pulled a nerve. Um, I guess maybe a few weeks went by and I said, you know what? I need to start doing something. This isn't going away. I'm becoming more weak in my hands. I can't lift anything up. The tingles are out of control. Let me call my doctor. I called my doctor. She made an appointment for me for a nerve to go to a nerve specialist. I went to the nerve specialist. My hands were still very bad. His tests came back fine. He said everything was fine. So he sent me out for an MRI. I did my MRI in, I think, December of 2022, perhaps maybe January of 2023. And I remember sitting there at the MRI place and I looked at the woman and I said, my hands are feeling much better now. I think it was just a pulled nerve. Little did I know that about 2 weeks later, I get a phone call from the nerve specialist from the reception saying that he wants to see me sooner than our previous appointment that had been booked for. So immediately I started panicking because usually when the doctor wants to see you earlier, there's something wrong. So I'm getting like shivers even talking about it. I called my doctor's office and I said, listen, I can't get an appointment earlier with him. Can we discuss my results? She called me a few hours later. I was at home. I was sitting down. She said, do you want to hear the good news or the bad news? She said, let me start with the good news. The good news, you don't have cancer. The bad news is you're showing lesions that fall in line with the McDonald's assessments, that you have multiple sclerosis. And I said, what is multiple sclerosis? Like, what is MS?
Yeah.
I know that my best friend's mom has had it for years and years and years, but I never asked her what MS was. I knew she had symptoms. I knew part of her body was numb. She can't drive anymore, but I never asked her what MS was. So that's all I thought about. Um, I was crying, but I didn't go, I think I was in denial because my symptoms were better. So I think I was just in denial about MS. I didn't want to hear of it. I didn't want to research about it. I didn't want to know about it, um, until I had my first relapse in April of 2023. My official diagnosis, I got accepted into one of the best MS clinics here in Toronto, Canada. Um, so my official diagnosis after the lumbar puncture was in May of 2023, but my relapse was in April of 2023.
When the doctor called, she wasn't asking you if you want to start medication right away?
So, um, the doctor, my neurologist, asked me right away. First, he said it was clinically isolated syndrome.
Okay.
Again, I didn't really know what that was. I looked it up after and I was like, oh, this is great. Like it's just CIS, like amazing. I don't know if I have MS even. Um, did ask if I wanted to start medication, but I said no. I
Okay.
didn't want to start medication. I wanted to go the natural route of things because I saw that you can do natural, you can do medicine, or you can
So
do both together.
you did do a little bit of research.
I
It
did a
wasn't like a
little bit.
complete denial.
I did a little bit. I reached out to someone in my area who I found out had MS and I asked her about it. She told me she was on medication, that I should start as soon as possible, that she has another friend who waited and had a huge relapse and then started. But I was still like, nope, I'm not starting medication. So let's go back to April now with my relapse. I had a family friend who passed away suddenly, and the stress built up. And now I've learned that stress and MS are no good together. And I experienced my first ever relapse, and it was scary. And I was put on a huge amount of prednisone, the 1,200 milligrams in 3 days. And it was a lot. I had to leave work. It was a lot. Um, but I still refused to go on medication. Didn't want to go on any medication. Um, in 2024, I had a relapse where then I decided to go on medication. But I've done so many other things before that to lead to where I am today. So I did the Terry Walls protocol. I had a coach who was amazing. And while I was going through my first relapse, she was like my rock. She got me through so much and taught me so much about the protocols. And I started on Terry Wall's, the most intense with her protocols. And I did start to feel better and I was feeling good. I felt deprived, I will say, from a lot of foods. I went gluten-free, dairy-free, everything, corn-free, everything. But I feel like it helped me. I really do. Um, and I'm thankful for my coach that I had. Um, sh
Was it strictly, you think, because of the stress, your second relapse?
um, so I think both my two relapses. So the one that I had, the first one in April, was due to the family friend passing away. And I do believe that it came from stress. I do believe that even the first symptoms that came, that I felt, the tingling, were due to stress. My father being in the hospital, um, going to a new job and the stress around there. Um, so I definitely, and then the most recent one in December of 2024 had a lot to do with work stress, a lot. And as much as I tried to not get to that place of stress, I still put myself there in that stress and let it get to me. That led to the most current MS relapse that I've had.
Hmm.
And I think it was all stress related.
Or stress related. And now that you are on medication, do you feel any difference?
Um, well, I'm still experiencing a lot of the tingles in my hands, a lot of them actually. So that has not gone away yet. I'm hopeful that it is going to go away, but it's stuck with me for about 3 months now. And I know anyone with MS knows the struggles with, hand sensitivity, heat sensitivity, tingles, numbness, rubber band feeling, in your hands. So I am still going through that. The medication, so I did start Kesimpta, um, and it's been good so far. I have responded very well, I think, to the medication. I'm just hoping that my next MRI will come back beautiful. Um, But the current MRI that I did do 2 months ago does show that my lesion did get bigger
Yeah.
on my neck, which could be why I'm really experiencing a lot of these sensory sensitivities. Yeah.
Yeah. So, have you done anything else other than dietary change? Like stress, how do you manage stress, or how did you try to manage stress before?
Yes. So I did a program, and I'm not sure if you've heard of him. His name is Shrazad Shamin.
No, I haven't heard of
So he's an author of like one of the New York Times best-selling like positive intelligence books. And his work really focuses on the mental fitness um, through his structured program, which is about 6 to 7 weeks. And it's called Positive Intelligence. And it's to help individuals, even, teams in a big company, develop a stronger and more resilient mindset. So his program is really based on neuroscience, psychology, and emotional intelligence research. And it really primarily focuses on identifying those weakening, like negative thought patterns that we really tend to, go to first. And then switching it to, and he calls them saboteurs. So it's those like demons that are kind of coming at you and wanting you to think the worst thing ever. And basically helping you change your mindset um, to strengthening your positive mental habits, which he calls his sage mindset. So it's really changing your habits. And his program was amazing. And I had a coach who guided um, six other individuals, some with MS, some without MS. And it's teaching you to build up these habits, like focusing on what's around you, your body, and like maybe listening to the furthest thing, and just like things like we would do like sensory and looking at different items, but very close up, and really focusing on those things and not let our mind kind of slip away. And it was phenomenal. The program was so, so amazing. It was 6 to 7 weeks. It was fantastic. Um, and I want to do it again, actually. So I just reached out to my coach to say, like, I'm falling through a little bit. I need to do this again. So what can I do? And I still have the app. He has an app. Um, it's unreal. And it's basically like charging your battery. So in the morning time, he wants you to do a lot of what he calls PQ reps. So it's those mindfulness, seeing what's around you, really focusing on certain things in your body. And he says to do it the most, charge your battery in the morning, because when it's charged, your drain later on will run out, but you'll still be okay. Like you'll still feel good. And I felt that. It was amazing. So I want to do that again, 100%.
Isn't it
Fantastic.
interesting how our minds constantly needs retraining,
Yeah.
reminders, learning how to keep up the change, basically?
Yes. It was It was fantastic. I was through like my lowest times and I was doing the Walls protocol and the PQ, and I noticed a difference. I really did, and I need to get back. Like sitting outside and listening to the birds, like we need to be thankful that we can like really pick up on like the birds chirping and the wind blowing, and it's really, really amazing when you think of it. So it's just that was fantastic. Um,
You came so far since your diagnosis, which was only 2 years ago, and it's amazing how like it's the same thing. I started with my diet, and then it took me probably 2 years to realize that the mindset and meditation and just changing the present moment, focusing on the present moment, those are more important than any diets. But it's amazing that you are already at that stage where you are, and including the medication. I don't know why I'm
yeah.
switching these two words, medication, meditation. Probably because I just came back from Joe Dispenza and he talks about meditation as a medication.
There you go. I like
And
that.
yes. So it's because I'm sure you were so scared and that was the only thing you could think of. Like, that's what I gonna do right now, do the medication and let's see how it goes. And hopefully everything settles down, comes back to normal until you figure it out how to overcome
Yeah.
this disease,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. It's still an early diagnosis. I'm still not at that point where, I think there's still some grief there for sure. Um, like, that why me, but I try to change that, that mindset, but there's still a lot there with the MS that I'm still navigating through. But I know I will get there. And I know one day I will be someone maybe like you who is going to help others and, do research and just be that person. Because when I was there, like, I didn't know where to start. I really didn't. And I found some really amazing people in my life all across, the US, all across the world who have really helped me and have now become like my MS family. And I think that's so important to create a family of other, individuals living with MS where you can kind of talk about things and just be yourself and not being judged by. Because again, this disease can be invisible
Yes.
and no one, and I put invisible because people don't see what we're going through. I'm not going to go and say to everyone, I have MS. I'm walking high like I have MS, but I'm going through a lot of challenges that, you know, people just don't see or understand. So that's what I really want to spread awareness about. Yeah.
Yes, I think getting to a place where you don't feel like people judging you, like you just feel like you don't care that whatever anybody thinks, and you
Mhm.
are willingly want to share your story instead of thinking like what everybody else gonna think about you. I think
Mhm.
that was for me at least a place where I'm like, I can do this and I can do this by myself. And I love that I have a community around me who is supporting me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, but I also did some other programs like True Medicine with Dr. Peyrovi.
Yes. Tell
So
me
I've
about that.
done, I did one of her programs and, I really don't remember what it was called. But it
She
was a
has
great,
three different ones. She has the detoxifying. She has like just a longer program just to learn everything, diet, lifestyle change.
yes, that's the one I did. I did that one. And it was also fantastic. It was, again, another amazing community of just, being together and learning. And I loved that one too. I do need to reach out. I would like to do
Yes.
the elimination to see, food sensitivities. I heard that's an amazing program. So I do want to get back and see what we can do there.
Are you still on the WARS protocol? Because if you are, there's a lot of food eliminated there.
So I'm not. So after the walls protocol, so I went from her level, the highest level, level 3 to level 2. And I stuck with level 2 for about a year and a half or so. Very strict with what I ate. Very like I need to eat exactly like what is here. And that's, it was very rigid.
Do you think that would give you stress alone?
So I felt that it did, yes, because I wasn't on any DMT at that time. And all I felt was if I eat this, I'm going to maybe have another relapse or a lesion might pop up. So I need to stick to this strict diet so that doesn't happen because I don't have anything protecting me other than my diet and my mindset. So there was definitely stress there 100%. Even up till today, like there is still a lot of stress around food for me. sometimes the things that I eat. And I think I need to be more trusting of what I'm eating. And I think it's okay to treat myself to something that, I haven't had a cheese pizza in 2.5 years. May will be 2 years officially of being diagnosed with MS. And it's, I'm deprived. I am. There's times where I do feel deprived of just eating like a delicious cheese pizza. But I tell myself, like, you know, don't do it, Rachel. You don't need to do it.
You don't, but I feel like if you don't do it and you are still craving for it, that's more hurtful for
Yeah.
yourself than just do it once in a blue moon, once a year
Right.
or whenever. And
And be okay with it
yes,
and be happy about it and just enjoy it and take it in.
yeah.
Um,
I can't
so,
believe actually I'm saying this because I used to be just as strict as you were, but it was giving me so much anxiety and symptoms, brain fog that I would probably didn't get from eating the food.
right. Yes, exactly. So, like, brain fog has been a huge one for me too, I find over the past, you know, 2 months or so. The brain fog has just, I tried some different dietary other diets, and I feel like the brain fog just really hit me. So I'm back now to eating meat, and I was like a vegetarian for a short time, but I felt like I wasn't getting what I needed to support me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your diet look like right now?
So my diet right now looks like, I'll have a smoothie in the morning. I really try to pack in the spinach, like, Dr. Terry Walls talks a lot about is those leafy greens. So I try to pack a lot of the spinach in a smoothie for myself to get that amount. I even put in some like dulse flakes, to get that as well. I take my vitamins in the morning. Um, I eat meat. So I eat chicken, organic, grass-fed beef as well, grass-finished beef. I eat potatoes. I hadn't eaten potatoes in 2 years, and I just started about less than a month ago, which has just been a game changer for me. Like eating potatoes is a game changer. Um, so a lot of veggies as well. Um,
What
every
did you eat growing up?
I ate fairly well.
Did you eat
Again,
potatoes, for example?
yes, I ate potatoes. I ate gluten. I never had a gluten like intolerance or anything like that. So staying off gluten, I'm like, why am I staying off gluten? Because everyone says when you have MS, stay off gluten. Don't eat gluten. It's not good for you. So I've just stayed off not eating gluten. But I never had any sort of intolerance to gluten or dairy or anything like that. I just cut them out right away.
Yes, it's the reason I ask you about specifically potatoes. Gluten is a different story because everything changed in the past 20, 30 years, and our crops going back to manufacturing and making our food into
Yes.
pasta is just completely changed. With pesticides, herbicides, it's just very dangerous, especially eating it in US because when you go to Italy, you get a complete different quality of food and so, but the potatoes, it's interesting because I've been reading studies about how our bioindividuality is all different. So, if you grow up in Mexico and you eat a lot of rice, for example, like you cannot just cut rice out from your diet completely, or beans. I think they eat more beans.
Yeah, beans. Yeah, another
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
So I used to eat potatoes all the time, and when I heard that potatoes is not in my diet, if you really want to be strict, I was very upset. And I just reintroduced it, and that's why the 30-day elimination diet is very useful when it comes to what food is good for you.
Yeah. So that's where I've been. But again, even here, like everything needs to be organic for me. And, three ingredients only if I'm buying anything. Like I need to know exactly what the ingredients are, what they say, because I want to know what I'm putting into my body and what is feeding my body. Um, well, what I'm feeding my body. So that's very important to me. But I also do integrative medicine as well. And it's been a game changer too for me. Um, it's kind of like an acupuncture, but it's not. It's like these little tacks that go on you. They're little needles, and they go. I don't know if you've heard of it or if you've done it, but um, it's phenomenal. And it actually, I had the Lhermettes sign for a couple of months, and I all of a sudden one day it went away, and I was doing so much of the integrative medicine, and I was like, I think this took my Lhermetti sign away because I don't feel it anymore, and we've been working and targeting that area, and it went away. So I'm doing that now again, and
Once a
that's
week or how often?
so I was going twice a week, but now I'm going once a week. I was going twice a week a couple of months ago for that Lhermettes. Now I'm going once a week, but he's he's really focusing on, the hands and where the lesion is. So I even put like specific jades that are meant for tumors and masses, and I put them around my like that area, and I typically wear it all day, even all night, to shrink the lesion.
Do
Yeah.
you meditate at all?
I do some meditation, I do some tapping.
Mm-hmm.
Tapping is new for me, and I'm really enjoying it. It's phenomenal. I have an amazing app. It's called Solutions. I don't remember the name, and it's phenomenal. And I'm using that. I did it in the morning today, actually, and it kind of prepped me for having a good day today. So, after our talk, I'm going to go for a walk and enjoy the sun and just be like out there and just enjoy like what I'm hearing around me and what I'm seeing around me. And so tapping has been something that I've recently started that I do enjoy.
It's so interesting how everybody is doing different things, but I love how you just have to find the things that you enjoy, you love doing, because that's what's gonna heal you. And the belief, like believing that it's possible. So I love everything you shared. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Even praying has become, something huge for me. I've become more in tune with, my beliefs and praying, and that's a habit, that I do every morning that I've stuck to for 2 years. So I know that I can continue on with habits and, writing it
Thank
starting
you.
here. And
And by the way, this is not a promotional. I never asked her to show
not
this
at
journal
all.
that I created.
I reached out to you, I remember, like when I first got diagnosed, and I asked you about this and you sent it to me. I don't remember if it was through Etsy or,
Yes, it was through Etsy.
yeah,
Now it's on Amazon. Yes.
yes. And I know I can get into it, and just it's so important for us to track things. It's so important. So this
Especially
was
in
like,
the beginning, you need to be accountable. You need to be reminded because there are so much new information. Like our life was like this before MS diagnosis, and now it's a new thing that we have to live with for the rest of our life. And
yeah,
we have to learn every day, and we have to implement new things to try because symptoms come and go. But if we don't stick to our like what makes us feel good, then it's hard.
yeah, exactly. So, um, yeah, I'm going to get into that. But that's kind of that's my story in a small, little nutshell. But I just want to spread more awareness of MS because it's tough. It's it can be tough, and I think we're such warriors, we're just warriors, and every day can be different, but we push ourselves, and I think kind of like God sets our limits, like what we can handle, and I think this is I'm at, like, this is what I can handle right now. And my healing is still, I'm still healing. I'm still healing.
Yes. Thank you for sharing. Is there anything else? Any advice do you have for somebody newly diagnosed?
Uh, Try not to stress. I know it's so hard. I know, but try not to stress. There are people out there to help and to talk to you and to guide you. And, Instagram, for example, is an amazing place to reach out to other people living with multiple sclerosis. You can find them. That's how I found so many people. I followed you through, I saw you somewhere and I followed you. And, I see some of the things that, like, what you buy, what you eat, like what you're doing. And it's amazing. And I think we just need to reach out to people. Yeah, we need to reach out to people and just know that it will be okay. And if you need to go on a DMT, go on one. Again, for me, I was very absolutely not mind made up, not going on one. I didn't want to deal with perhaps what can happen with going on a DMT, and that's what scared me personally. Um, but then I decided it's time for me to do this, and I'm feeling fine.
Do you
So,
know what it just amazes me and I love that even though you started DMT, you still doing the same things. You still focusing on diet, you still praying, you still going outside. So whatever you learned since your diagnosis, you still doing it and you still learning
yes,
instead of just trusting the drug that
will
will make you feel better.
right. Oh, yeah. I'm still doing exactly what I was doing before, just with the medication now. That's what I said. I will continue to meditate or tapping. I will continue to keep my diet. I will continue to, go out and walk around and just smile. One thing that I love doing actually is smiling at more elders. Like, it really, I don't know if anyone else gets it, but when you just smile at an elderly person and they smile back, it warms my heart and it kind of brightens my day. So just doing that really, or opening the door for, an elderly person, like, it really just warms my heart and makes me feel so good. So I feel like there's just so many things that I'm still doing with the addition of medication.
Yes, you know why? They know so much already. They have so much wisdom. If you look at somebody who never went through like a life-changing event in their life, that person is still stressed out, still anxious, worrying about everything. Maybe they have children that adds additional stress in their life. But when you become older, I feel like for us with the diagnosis, like this becoming and having all this wisdom is just speeded up. We
Hmm.
had no choice. We had to get the wisdom.
Yes, well, exactly. We had to get that wisdom. We had to, like, I've learned so much. I've become such a more mature person now, even though I was mature before, but I've learned so much that has made me even more mature with this diagnosis. Um, and it's not going to take over me. Like, MS will not take over me. Like, I will beat it and I will come to a place of, zen and not having to think about MS all the time. And I don't know if you feel, I don't know if you do this, but I wake up in the morning and I'm kind of like scanning my body, like, what do I feel? Like, are my hands okay today? Are they not? I'm still there and I'm trying to get out of there. And I know that will come.
I used to do that every morning, and now I wake up and I'm like, where's my headset? I need to put my meditation on. That's the first thing I do.
Right? So I need, and I will get there. But 2 years of a diagnosis is not a long time.
No,
I've done so much in that time that
you should
I
be
still,
very, 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 very,
yeah,
very proud of you.
I should. I should be very proud of myself, and I am, but I need to take it in more
Yes.
to be proud of myself and feel that compassion for myself. Um, Definitely. Yes.
Amen. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank
No.
you. I hope I see more of you on Instagram.
Yes, I would
Sorry.
love that. Yes.
If anybody wants to reach out, where can they find you?
They can find me at rachel.livingwithms.
Okay.
So my story is there. I post a lot of MS things and just of me and different things. So come follow me. I would love that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope everything goes well and thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming and sharing, being so open about this. It's not easy.
It's not, but we're all strong.
We are.
Yes.